Okay, cool. D, yes, thank you. You're welcome. Hey, Lana. Yes, you found some errors. So what were some of the errors you guys found? List some of the errors that you found. Like, was it misspellings of your name? Was it old addresses? What kind of errors did you find? Like some aliases, some like your mate. I know someone told me that their their married name was still on there, but you're no longer married. That's something you definitely want to correct. I did see that. Old jobs, old addresses. Yes. Yes, Brenda. Yes, cool. Anything else, guys? Like with your name, with your date of birth, or anything like that? All right, so that is going to be, the beginning of the dispute process. So you want to clean that information up first before you move on to the next level of disputes. All right, so cool. Everybody has done their homework assignment, hopefully from day 2, which was locating errors within your personal section information. Now today, okay, so D, last name, first, yes, that one's a popular one. I made a mistake. I think I was filling out a Target card application, and somehow I put my middle name as my last name, right? So actually, when I got the card and I got approved, it was my first and middle name on the card, right? It was just my first and middle name. It didn't have a last name on there. So that was an inaccuracy that I had to eventually dispute. So yeah, your last name first is inaccurate. Oh, your business name. Okay. Okay, multiple variations of your name. Yes, that is definitely something you want to get cleaned up. Okay, you want to be known as who you are. Name variations for Lamar, outdated addresses and employment, right? Name, addresses, and phone number for Lakendra. Okay, Lynette, you just joined. Hello, Lynette. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sherry said misspellings and variations of social security number. Yes, get that cleaned up, honey. Get that cleaned up for sure. Okay, so I'm glad that you guys went through the exercise and you understand why that is so important and that it holds power for you, right? When you're going through the dispute process. All right, so welcome, Ramunda. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So today we are going over locating the damaging errors, right? So we want to take advantage of the credit bureau's game plan, right? And this is the way we're going to do it. We're going to use the dispute process to remove negative items from your credit report, okay? Sometimes it can be time-consuming and frustrating, but we want to take that stress away from you by knowing exactly what you're looking for, okay? It's one of the best ways to get deletions, which is locating errors. Remember what I said, we focus on factual disputing. And the only way to do factual disputing is to comb through your credit reports and find those errors. Now we're going to get a little bit more complex here because I really, really want you guys to be successful. Okay, but the basic dispute process is what's going to get you the fastest and most effective results for removing incorrect items from your credit report. Okay, this is the fastest way to do it to get the best results. Remember, once you get these items deleted, you don't want them to be able to come back onto your credit report, right? The goal is to have them permanently removed, right? We don't want them to come back and haunt us. So if they're actually a FCRA violation with an error, they cannot put it back on your credit report. And then if they are going to verify it later and decide to put it back on, they must notify you within 5 business days, okay, within reinserting the item. And 9 times out of 10, actually 99.999999999% of the time, they do not give you that heads up, okay? So now we're going to scroll down our credit reports and check for errors and discrepancies regarding the accounts. So we're going to go down the list of errors that you want to be looking for, any discrepancies you want to be looking for, okay? All right, so you want to look for incorrect balances, okay? Incorrect balances. So you know what your balances should look like, right? If they do not match at the time, that is an inaccuracy. Then you want to compare them across the 3 bureaus. I wish there was a way I could share my screen so that I could actually walk you through a report and show you what they look like, but we're going to get through this, okay? Now, are your credit limits listed correctly. Capital One is famous for this. Capital One actually doesn't list your credit limit in the section where it says credit limit. Okay, and what they'll do is they'll list it in the note section where your high balance is. It'll say high balance is viewed as the credit limit. But that's not true. Just because you used X amount of dollars does not mean that that's what your credit limit is. So let's say your credit limit is $500, right? But the highest balance you've used on the card is like, say, $250, right? That's not your credit limit. Your credit limit is not $250, and then that will cause your credit utilization to be off. Understand? So the credit limit is very important. Remember, that is what calculates your credit utilization. So it needs to be 100% accurate. It needs to be accurate, guys. Okay? So the credit limit must be listed. If it's not listed, it is inaccurate information and it needs to be updated. So Capital One is famous for this. So one strategy that you can use to help get the credit limit reported is to actually use the card. And I know it's kind of annoying, but since Capital One does this, they're typically the only bank that is pretty well known for this. But what you want to do is use the card, run up the balance, and then pay it off so that that high balance can then report on your credit report as your credit limit, because that's how they report it. Okay, so it's called the run-up method. So Capital One is very famous for that. What if the, okay, so I have a question here, D. What if the high balance is higher than the credit limit? That then, okay, so what's your question? So typically that is an inaccuracy, right? Typically that's an inaccuracy, because how can you tell me that the balance is higher than the credit limit? I mean, unless you went over your limit, right? Unless you're overspending and it's over the limit. But if it isn't, if it's inaccurate, then you want to dispute it. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Then you want to look for duplicate accounts. Duplicate accounts. Now, what a duplicate account is, let's say you have an account with Bank of America, right? You owe Bank of America $2,000. Okay, if you owe Bank of America $2,000 and they sent it to a collection agency to collect the debt, right? A third-party collector bought the debt. Now it's with the collection agency. Now they're reporting on your credit report that you owe them $2,000. But Bank of America never updated the account to show that it was sold to the new collection agency. They're still reporting that you owe $2,000. That is duplicate reporting. Two different companies cannot collect on one debt. Now I need everybody to put a 1 in the comment box to let me know that they understand this, because this is very important and it's very difficult for people to find and locate these type of accounts. So drop a 1 in the comment box and let me know you understand. An original creditor and a collection agency cannot both collect on the same debt, which means they both cannot report that you have an outstanding balance with them. If Bank of America sold it to, let's say Enhanced Recovery Company, which is a collection company, right, and they're reporting the $2,000, Bank of America cannot still report the $2,000. Does that make sense? That is duplicate reporting, and it's against the FCRA. Okay, so someone doesn't understand, so please repeat that. I'm gonna give you, so the example is, if Bank of America is your original creditor, you opened up an account with Bank of America, and you owe an outstanding balance of $2,000, right? You weren't making your payments, you owe the money, it's $2,000 you owe. They sold the account to a third-party debt collector. Now the debt collector is going to start collecting on the account because they purchased the debt. Now they're on your credit report also reporting the $2,000, right? So they both have that balance on there and they're both collecting on it. That is duplicate reporting, and it's incorrect. It's a violation of the FCRA. All right, so that is duplicate reporting. So you want to look for that. Okay. Accounts that are listed incorrectly, right? So if the status of an account is not listed correctly. So if it's an open account, but it's saying it's closed, or if it's a closed account, but it's saying it's open, right? You want to look for that. Paid accounts that still show that you owe. Good, you got it, Lynette, cool. All right, so paid accounts that still show an outstanding balance that you owe. They can't do that. Okay, that's going to, again, affect your credit utilization. You do not want that to happen. Okay, closed accounts, right, that were closed by consumer, it should notate that. So if you close the account, then it should say closed by consumer. If the creditor closed the account, it should say closed by creditor. Okay, so you want to look for that as well. Now, you want to be sure that your late payments are dated. We went over this yesterday, but I want to clarify this again. Late payments must be dated. Okay, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. It must tell you the month and year those late payments happened. Must tell you the month and year those late payments happened. All right. Charge-offs. Charge-offs should not be reporting an outstanding balance. If it was sold or transferred to another company, it should have a zero balance. If a charge-off was sold or transferred to another company, it should have a zero balance. Okay? All right, bankruptcies. If you have accounts that were filed within a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, right? And it's not listed on your credit report as account included in bankruptcy. There should be a notation, account included in bankruptcy. It needs to be disputed, okay? Because they're counting that against you, okay? The file dates of bankruptcies, right? Any file dates of bankruptcies should be accurately on there. Like if you go and compare them across the 3 bureaus, they should all be the same, right? They should all be the same. There's one file date. Like you didn't file it multiple times, okay? You want to be sure that the account name is also consistent. Is it even listed? Is the account name listed and is it correct? A lot of times you'll find, and I mean, I want you to guys get very specific. Okay, so for example, a bankruptcy, right? A bankruptcy must tell you the exact court name that the bankruptcy came from. No abbreviations, no nicknames for the court as if you're supposed to know who they are. No, it needs to be spelled out with the state at the end. So if it's U.S. Bankruptcy Court of Greenbelt, Maryland, right? It needs to come out and say U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Greenbelt, Maryland, spelled all the way out. If it abbreviates it and say BKT or BKPT, CT on there without the state and city and state after it, it's inaccurate. Write this down, guys. This is how you get deletions. Okay? So account numbers. Is the account number correct? You know, that is something that is disputable. Is the account number correct? Terms. The terms on your accounts. So on your credit report, it'll say maybe like 1 month, right? So if it's an account that you pay every 30 days or something like that, the terms will say 1 month. If that is not accurate, you dispute it. And now sometimes they'll put 1 month under a collection account. But guess what? A collection account is not something you pay every 30 days. So why are the terms 1 month? Right? You do not have an open account with a collection agency. So how can they put a 1 month term under it? Right? So you want to be sure the term is correct and reporting consistently across all 3 bureaus. Okay? Let's see, what else did we go? The date of last payment. The date of last payment is very important. The date of last payment must be accurate. Okay? It must be accurate. So whenever the last payment was made on that account, you want it to be sure it is listed correctly and that it is consistent across all 3 credit bureaus. Okay, so you want to be sure it's listed, because remember, if you need to fight and let them know that, the statute of limitations is expired, you use that date of last payment. All right, so that is used to your benefit. Monthly payments. Are there monthly payments being reported on closed accounts? Did you hear that? Are there monthly payments being reported on closed accounts? If an account is closed, there's no monthly payment. I'm not making any payments on this closed account. Monthly payments on closed accounts, write it down. Monthly payments on closed accounts. All right. Date of last activity. Typically, you'll see a couple of different dates, right? Usually, the oldest date is the most accurate one, and newer dates on the report means that there were probably some re-aging on the account, and that is a violation of the FCRA. So that means they change the date of the last activity so that it can be reported longer on the credit report. All right, so this date must be accurate as well. So any discrepancies, typically I usually see about a 2 to 3 year difference on date of last activity across the 3 bureaus. How can that be? How can one person say the date of last activity is 2016 and another person say it's 2018? That's not accurate. You guys should have the same information if the creditor is reporting to you, right? Okay, so that information must be accurate. The date closed. Very important, guys. There should be no late payments reported after the close date. There should be no late payments reported after the close date. Okay, so you want to be sure you're looking at your notations, the ledger at the bottom of your credit report that shows the late payments. Is the close date even accurate? Is the account even really closed? Be sure that it is a closed account and they're reporting it accurately. Okay, your responsibility of an account. It'll say either individual, joint, or AU. If you're an authorized user on an account and the account is negative, it's hurting your credit score, there's no way to salvage the account, the person can't bring the balance down, they've gone late on the account, it just is not beneficial to you anymore. You're an AU user, you just ask for removal, because guess what? It ain't your account. All right, so you state facts, you state the truth, that's easy removal. That's the easiest thing that can be removed from your credit report is an authorized user account. Okay? All right, so I got a question here. How do you handle the dispute if data is not consistent on all 3 bureaus? What do you mean by handle? You tell them it's inaccurate. You say TransUnion shows. So what data are you referring to? So remember, we're going through different violations and different dispute reasons. So give me a little bit more specifics to work with, Lamar. What do you mean by data? So every issue or every error is going to have something different. So just give me an example of what you mean. But if it's inconsistent across all 3 bureaus, that's what you say. This information is inaccurate. TransUnion is reporting date open of 11/1/2013. Experian is reporting 12/2/2014, and Equifax is showing 1/1/2014. This is inaccurate. Please remove it from my credit report. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. D says, what if status says unknown? Unknown where? On a collection account. Status is not unknown. Nothing about your credit report should be unknown. Okay. All right. Payment status, right? If they're reporting 30 days late and you paid on time, if you have payments, if you have receipts. Remember, the only way they can even verify a late payment is by having records. So you got to put the burden of proof on them. Where's the records for this 30-day late payment? I wasn't late. You said I was late on May 2015. I was not late. Show me the record. Show me the transaction documents. Okay? Lamar, if a 30-day late is reporting different months on different bureaus. Oh, okay. But But here's the thing. Okay, so is it multiple 30-day late payments? Because if it's multiple 30-day late payments, then they're going to have different months. But if it's, so is it one 30-day late payment and they all have different months on different bureaus? Can you verify that? If it's one 30-day late payment and they all have different dates, then that's inaccurate. And that's what you say. You say this bureau is reporting this bureau is reporting that, this bureau is reporting this. How can this be? That's it. This is inaccurate. How can this be? Delete it. Okay. All right. So now we go on to creditor name. Is the creditor name even listed? Sometimes collection agencies will not even list the original creditor. That's an easy deletion right there. You know who's famous for this? Equifax. Medical collections on Equifax are famous for this. They are famous for leaving out the creditor name. Easy deletion, or it'll say unknown. So I bet you, D, that unknown on that collection account is on Equifax. Tell me if I'm wrong. That unknown collection is on Equifax, and it's a medical collection. That's what they're famous for. Easy deletion. It's incomplete information. It's inaccurate. You're telling me you're reporting this negative information on my credit report and you don't even know who the creditor is? So how am I supposed to know who the creditor is? How am I supposed to reach out and get validation and verification? Who am I reaching out to? My credit report should be 100% accurate. If you don't know, then I don't know. That's the game we're playing. If you don't know, I don't know. If you can't tell me, I can't tell you. Right? I bet you that unknown collection is on Equifax. Okay. So now you dispute that as well, right? So now filing date, we went over that. Are the filing dates consistent? If not, that's a violation. The court name should be legal name, full legal name with city and state. Date open for accounts. Experian is really popular for this. They're very popular with reporting first of the month open dates, just like standard. Like this was just open on the first. How is every account just open on the first? Like not everybody just went on the first and applied for an account. No. Okay, and then the other two will show a different date. So that is inaccurate information. You can get that disputed. Okay. Balance, obviously, is the balance correct? Should there be one at all? Did you settle? Did you pay partially? If there's some type of payment on the account, you can always dispute the balance. Equifax, but it says Verizon. No original creditor. Oh, well, no, Verizon is the original creditor. Verizon has an internal collection office. So if Verizon sent your account to collections, it's within Verizon. So Verizon would be the original creditor. I hope that makes sense, D. You don't know what it's for? Usually if it's Verizon or something like that, it's like probably like you didn't return some boxes or something for cable, or is it a cell phone? Like what is it? Oh, you say you don't know. But typically most people find out that it's like unreturned cable boxes, like when they close their account. That's usually what it is. Or like an unpaid cell phone bill. But typically it's like unreturned cable boxes. But if you don't know what it is, you dispute it. Simple as that. Unknown account. This is an unknown account. I don't know what this is. Guys, like you guys are making it so much more difficult than it has to be. You guys got to just make it simple. You telling me you don't know what it is, that's exactly what you tell the credit bureau. Exactly. What is this account? Where'd you get this information? I don't know what it is. It's an unknown account. Please delete it for violation. Boom, done. Okay. Past due balance. Is a past due balance correct? Did you recently pay it off and it's not updated yet? Get them on every violation you can. Get them on every violation you can, right? If it's not updated, boom, it's got to go. Okay. Date of first delinquency. Is that date being reported accurately? Don't leave it up to the credit bureaus to report whatever the hell they want to report. It must be accurate. So you need to know when an account went delinquent. If it doesn't match your records, it needs to go. It needs to be removed, okay? And you dispute it. Okay? So in the case of student loans, some creditors just start at 90 days late. Write this down, guys. They may just start at 90 days late. Well, how did the account get to 90 days late, right? What's before 90? 60 days late. What's before 60 days late? 30 days late. Come on, guys. Easy violations. Easy violations. All right? They can't report a 90-day late without a 30-day late. How can you say I was 90 days late, but I was never 30 days late? Does that make sense? Guys, drop a 2 in the comment box and let me know that makes sense. If you're reporting I'm 90 days late, but you don't report a 30-day late or a 60-day late, how is this possible? Drop a 2 in the comment box and let me know you understand that. Right? You got to be 30 days late first. Right? And then you got to be 60 days late. Then you can move and say I was 90 days late, but you can't jump to 90 days late and I wasn't 30 or 60 days late. Making sense? Cool. All right, there's got to be a progression. Tell me I was 30 days late on this date. Tell me I was 60 days late the next month, and then I was 90 days late. But don't just report 90 days late on me. All right? Charge-off amounts. Who's reporting the charge-off amount? Is the charge-off amount correct? Sometimes they add to it. Sometimes they add to it, guys. If it's not accurate, if it's not the same amount that you know it was charged off when you left the account, don't let them add numbers onto it or adjust the amounts, right? Dispute it. Okay? Type of account. This is so important and it may seem so minor, but you can dispute this. The type of account. The type of account. Check to see if it's accurate, right? Does it say it's an installment loan, but it's a credit card? Reason for dispute. The type of account must be the same across all 3 bureaus. You can't say have a Chase card and then call it an installment loan. That's not what it is. Reason for dispute. So you want to check the account type, guys. All right. If an account was sold to another company or transferred, if it was sold to or transferred, guess what? This notation should be on your credit report. It must say sold to or transferred. If this notation is missing, violation. All right. If balance is even present on a sold to or transferred account, that's a violation. There should be no balance on a sold to or transferred account. It was sold. Somebody bought it. Well, where's the balance? Why? Right? There should be no balance. Payment status details. Right? Payment status details. You got to pay attention to this. Look for the inaccuracies across all 3 bureaus. Notice of dispute. Here's a big one. Here's a big one. Catch these nuggets. Catch these nuggets. This notation on your credit report is required within 30 days of your dispute under the section 623 FCRA and under FDCPA 806B. It says that when you dispute an account, the creditor must place a notation that the account is in dispute. They must play an in dispute notation on your credit report. This is how you get them on a violation. Oh, you didn't say this account was in dispute. Delete it. That's it. Easy deletions. If they don't place that notation on your credit report, you got to look for it though. So you send out your first round and then it comes back and you notice that one of them didn't put that notation, immediately dispute it for deletion. It's a violation. Okay? And it's both under the FCRA and the FDCPA. Okay? Late payments. How can you have a late payment on a collection account? A collection account is already a late account, right? It was already late. That's why it's in collections. So how can you have a late payment on a collection? A collection is a closed-ended account. So it can't have any late payments. It's a closed-ended account. That is a violation. Okay? All right, so I hope you guys are catching all of those dispute reasons that I'm giving you guys. Let's go into a little Q&A before we go into the next section. Now remember, guys, when you're doing these letters, you got to ask for what you want. You got to ask for deletion. Any questions? No questions before we move on? I don't see any questions coming through. Okay, so we're going to do a sample progression of dispute reasons for different type of accounts. Okay, different progression of dispute reasons for different accounts. So, i.e. for a collection, for example. Okay, if you don't know anything about the collection account, so for example, who mentioned that? D, she didn't know anything about a certain collection account. Okay, so here's a question, I'm sorry. So it's listed on the credit report, but it comes from the creditor because the credit bureaus send the investigation to the creditor for verification. So the creditor is the one who sends the code, like they send them a code to say, hey, put this account in dispute. So it's a notation that's made by the creditor, but it's on the credit report by the credit bureaus. Does that make sense? So it's placed by the creditor, but it's on the report that's held by the bureaus. D, what's your question? You said the collection account is only listed on Equifax. Okay. What's your question? A collection account is only listed on Equifax. Right. What's the question though? Good, Lakendra, you got it? Okay, cool. I'm waiting for D to update me on her question so I can answer it before we move on. Yes, not all three. Is that reason to have removed? No. No, it's not. And the reason being is because creditors do not always work with all three credit bureaus. They act independent of one another, right? So, for example, the bigger companies pay to get that negative information placed on all three credit bureaus because they want a better chance of them getting their money or whatever it is that they're seeking, right? And the larger companies have the money to do so. But some companies decide, look, I only want to work with one of the bureaus and it just happens to be Equifax, right? Or someone may decide, I want to work with two out of the three credit bureaus and it happens to be Equifax and TransUnion. Or it could be Experian and TransUnion, right? So they decide who they're doing business with. So you do find some companies that only report to one bureau. So like, for example, professional account management, I mean, I work with so many reports, I kind of know who works with who. So that's a collection company that reports tickets in the DMV area, okay? So whenever I see that, that's usually only on TransUnion. They only report to TransUnion, right? So there are some accounts that will only report to one bureau because that's who they choose to do business with. Remember, they're paying for this information. They're paying to place this information on your credit report. So if they want to be cheapo, right, they'll work with one. If it's one of the bigger companies that, their system just runs, seamlessly, then they'll report to all three. So it's not a reason to dispute because that's just who they choose to do business with. So you can only dispute with what bureau that account is being reported with. You can't dispute to the other two who don't even have knowledge of the account. You see what I'm saying? So if the other two don't even have knowledge of that account, you don't want to give it to them and say, oh, hey, this other bureau down the street, has this account and I need it removed. Like, you're not going to alert them of an account that they weren't even privy to. So creditors decide who they're going to report to, who they choose to do business with. That's not a violation. That's just their preference. So your dispute reason is going to lie within, the examples that I just read off, right? Like the limits, the balances, the close date, the open date, the date of last payment, things like that, right? So you're going by the individual line of the credit report. All right, so, you already listed one. Something was unknown. It's listed unknown in the status or something like that. Okay. Okay, good question, Sherry. So how do you know when to request deletion or update? So if it's beneficial to you, you want it updated. If it's negative, you want it removed. So you ask for deletion. Very simple. So for an example, one 30-day late payment on an account that has 8 years of credit history. It's been open for 8 years, one 30-day late payment, you would update that account. You wouldn't say delete it. You're not going to delete 8 years of credit history for one 30-day late payment. Make sense? So that's more beneficial to you because of that history. You don't want to lose that 8 years of history. Say you went and deleted that account. Your score is going to go like this, and you can be like, oh, wait, I deleted a late payment, which I thought was negative. Why isn't that helping my score? Well, you also deleted 8 years of credit history. So if it's something beneficial to you, you update. If it's something negative, you delete. Okay? All right, so the progression of dispute. So if you have a collection, for example, the one D mentioned, account is unknown, your dispute reason is going to say remove unknown collection for violation. All right. Then after you dispute the unknown, the next progress is going to say, how did you verify this account? Right? So your dispute reason here is going to say, hey, where's the documentation that will prove that? Right? So you want to verify. Okay, so now you want to move on to the method of verification. Can I get some proof of validation? Send the proof of a signed contract with my signature on it, or remove this account. That's your next progression. Then after that, you come back and say, hey, but this collector didn't verify. You told me I need to go to this original creditor. I went to this original creditor. They didn't respond to me. They didn't verify anything, right? All they did was send me a statement or a bill. That's not verification. So I'm letting you know you need to intervene. These people won't verify. I need the documentation that you said you have, that you used to verify this account when you conducted your investigation. Okay? Right? So you're telling them, look, this collection company is not responding to prove that this account is verifiable. So how can you prove it? They're not proving to me and sending me verification. Where's your proof? Right? Okay. If there's any other violations, then you find those and start disputing that. Because remember, you want to use different reasons in your dispute letters. All right. So now we're going to move on to charge-offs. Charge-offs, you're going to look for, let's say the first thing you're going to look for is the date of last activity. Okay. If there's a discrepancy in the date of last activity, you use those as your dispute reason. TransUnion says this, Experian says this, Equifax says this, remove for inaccuracy. Boom. Okay. If they come back and verify it, you come back with your next letter. How is this account accurate when this account shows 3 different dates? You cannot possibly tell me you verified this information and that it's 100% accurate with 3 different dates. Please remove it from my credit report. Okay. Then you want the method of verification. You are within your rights to do that. Now you ask for the method of verification. Okay. Then after that, you're going to say, hey, where's the proof? Show me the proof. Give me a signed copy of the original contract. Show me the proof. Show me the documentation you use that you said you verified this account with. Okay. Then you can move on if there are any late payments shown after the charge-off. Remember, late payments should not be listed on a charge-off account after the charge-off date. Okay, so you say remove immediately from my credit report because there's late payments after the close date. That's not possible. How can this be? This is inaccurate. Stop it. Okay, if they continue to report that late payment after the charge-off date, violation. Okay, then you can look at the date of status, the date that the account is being reported. So the date status means that, let's say you sent in a dispute letter, right? And let's say you sent in a dispute letter in February, and the date status is listed as December 2018. But you disputed this account in February, so that means they didn't do a complete investigation because it should have been updated with that date. Understand? Pay attention, guys. So the date status is very important. If that date does not change, anytime you send in a dispute letter, they are not conducting an investigation, and that's grounds for removal. All right? So the date status should be looked at, or the date reported. Date updated, it should say. Some credit reports worded differently. Date updated, date reported, date status. Okay? Then you go on to ask for proof of their investigation, right? Send me proof. My account is still reported inaccurately. Send me proof. All right? If it's a closed charge-off account and they're reporting a monthly payment, remember we said no monthly payment on closed accounts. That's inaccurate. All right? Inaccurate. And that's what you say. Please delete for inaccuracy. There should not be any monthly payment on this closed account. Balance, I usually save the balance for last because they're going to verify it. You know, they're going to be buttholes about it. So balances are usually like your last resort if you can't find any other errors. So I use that as a last resort for charge-offs. They're all going to say, oh, that's a matter of public record, blah, blah, blah. There's a balance, so-and-so, creditor verified it. So you want to use that as a last resort, unless it's just like a huge discrepancy. Okay, past due amount, again, if it's the wrong past due amount, then you dispute that. Okay, now we're moving on to late payments progression. All right, so if you know you were never late on a late payment, you literally say that. Please update this account because I was never late on May 2016, what you're saying I was. Okay, if there are 3 consecutive late payments, but you're currently on time, right? Then you'll dispute the oldest late payment. Okay, you dispute the oldest late payment for the first month that they're reporting. Okay, that makes them harder for them to verify that information. Then your next progression is going to say, hey, how did you verify this late payment? How did you verify it? All right, next progression, provide some bank records and proof of transactions. Send me the copy of the bank records. Send me documentation, okay? You're required to have this documentation to determine accuracy. That is the only legal way you can prove this account is accurate. All right? Okay, proof of investigation. What's your method of investigation? What's your method of verification? Send me proof that you did a proper independent investigation. All right? Send me proof. Copy of the original contract. Send me proof of the records. Send me proof. Okay? Now let's move on to public records. Public records. All right, so like I said, you want to start with the court name. That's the easiest thing to pinpoint is the court name. If the court name is not spelled out correctly, it should literally be spelled out correctly in its entirety and then the city and state. In its entirety in city and state. If it's not, you dispute for invalid court name. Boom, that's it. Then you want to go after the file date. All right, if the file date is not consistent, it's an invalid file date. Next step, you want to go with method of verification. All right, guess what? The courts do not furnish information to the credit bureaus. They don't furnish information to the credit bureaus, and they don't confirm or verify any information with the credit bureaus. They're not a subscriber. The courthouse does not work with the credit bureaus. What the credit bureaus are doing are looking up through third-party public record sites, getting that information. Those sites are what's selling the information. It's not straight from the courthouse. So they're telling us the data furnisher is the courthouse, and they're lying because the courthouse is not a subscriber to the credit bureaus. They will tell you that with their own words. They will tell you that. All right, so then that's when you ask for the method of verification, right? Because the courts don't provide you with documents or verify accounts. So why are you telling me that they provided you with this information and that they're furnishing this data? How can you possibly say that? All right. Your next step is send me proof. Send me proof of validation. Next step is copy of the petition. Do you have a copy of that? Right. Send me a copy. And then if they fail to verify correct, then you move on to Section 603, which says you didn't give permission for them to even put that information on your credit report pursuant to Section 603. Okay? Please remove immediately. So I have a question here. So if a dispute response come back and they send you a statement that's not a verification. So the people who would send you a statement is usually like the collection agency. The collection agency usually sends you a statement or like a bill. They'll be like, oh, here's the itemized bill. So what is the itemized bill? You could have sat down at your computer and typed up this bill and said that I owe it, right? Couldn't I do that? Couldn't I just be like, oh, let me type this up for you. I'll type up this bill real quick and say you owe it. Anybody could have done that. So why is a bill verification that I owe a collection agency? No, that's not verification. FTC Woolman opinion letter. See, this is why you need to be in an advanced course, guys. FTC Woolman opinion letter states that after debating that a statement or a bill, an itemized statement or bill is not sufficient verification for a collection account. Okay? Yeah, that's not verification. So you go back to the credit bureaus and let them know that they didn't verify. Okay? So judgments and tax liens. All right, you go up the file date. If the file date is inconsistent, the file date is inconsistent across all three credit bureaus and it needs to be removed. Please delete. Second, you want to go after the judgment court name. All right, if the court name is wrong, you ask for deletion. Next level, you want to provide the documents. Send me a copy of the court documents. All right, next level, wrong plaintiff. Sometimes they even put the wrong plaintiff information. Like they just put, oh, anything down there. Like they're just reckless. Okay, so you can dispute that. If they fail you to provide the documents, okay, well, you got to prove this is mine. Like I'm not just gonna, judgments and tax liens are actually easier to remove. Okay, judgments and tax liens are easy to remove. Bankruptcies have gotten a little bit more difficult lately. Past 2-3 years or so, but judgment and tax liens are actually relatively easier, surprisingly, right? But they make mistakes. It's crazy how they just write anything. It's just the years, like the years that they put on there. Sometimes it's like years that don't even exist, like 80-20 and like what year is that, right? So it's easy to get violations and errors within judgments and tax lien public records. So we're going after the wrong plaintiff. Plaintiff information is wrong. Then failure to provide the documents, prove this is even mine, prove you did the investigation. You can even use wrong reference number. The docket number is usually off, usually not consistent. So you can dispute with the wrong docket number. Okay. If you're actual a victim of valid identity theft, when someone actually steals your information and access your accounts, then you can say it's not mine. But you have to be an actual victim of identity theft. You file a police report, you file an affidavit, and then you dispute with the credit bureaus and let them know it's not yours, right? So sometimes they make it a little difficult. You got to dispute and show proof of ownership and all that stuff. But you know, once you found the police report and send them all your documentation, those accounts should be removed. Okay, inquiries. Inquiries, you say, if you don't know what it is, then you say you don't know what the inquiry is. Remove because it's an unknown inquiry. All right, second route is proof of signature. If you don't have proof of the signature and you can't furnish it, then it must be removed. Send me proof of signature. Proof of inquiry verification. Verify the validity of this inquiry. Most times you will have to dispute with the creditor, though, for inquiries, like, right, letting them know they didn't have permissible purpose to place this inquiry on your credit report. Then you go back to the credit bureaus and you tell them creditor did not validate, right? They didn't respond to you, they didn't validate it, it needs to be removed. Then your next route is, hey, proof of validation, right? Then if they're still reporting it, that's an FCRA violation. Section 623 states that if they're still reporting invalid information, then it's a violation. Okay, they cannot continue to report inaccurate information. That is a violation of your FCRA rights. They didn't show proof and they didn't verify it or validate it. It's illegal. Then you can escalate it and start to make complaints. File a complaint with the FTC, file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau, file a complaint with the CFPB, file a complaint with the Attorney General's office. Complaints. All right, so if you know it's inaccurate, they're consistently violating your rights, you want to escalate and file complaints. Okay? All right, so that is it for errors. Okay? I think we went over every error we could find. Trying to see if I found anything else. Oh, outdated information. I did miss that. Outdated information. So if you calculated the statute of limitations for a negative account to be on your credit report and it's still on there, then you dispute it with the credit bureaus. Because remember, it's not their job to keep a track of that stuff. If they feel like, you know, it's not time yet and they left it on there and it's supposed to be gone, it's not their job to check up on it, you know. So it's up to you to know that it's time for it to be removed and you send in a dispute letter for it to be removed. All right, so we went over quite a lot of errors and quite a lot of dispute reasons. And this is what's going to help you get maximum deletions. All right, maximum deletions. All right, so those were examples of errors you'll find and then examples of dispute reasons for those errors in different accounts. Okay. All right, any other questions? That wraps up today. All right. So for your homework assignment, see if I could pull that up. What did I do? You should have received a worksheet where you can identify your errors. So in the first column, you'll list the credit bureau, because remember, we want you guys to be organized, guys. In the first column is the credit bureau. The second column is account name. The third column is the account number. You don't need to put the phone number because you ain't calling anybody. The next column is the address of the credit bureau. And then the next column is the details of the error. Okay? Details of the error. And then you want to start with the most damaging errors and then go down to the least damaging. Okay, so the most damaging up top and the least damaging at the bottom. And that's what I want you to fill out tonight for your homework. So that's your action step. Did everyone get a copy of the identifying errors worksheet? Let me know. Okay, and guys, as a reminder, if you want my one-on-one help for me to help you with your credit improvement strategy, your credit improvement plan, then you want to sign up for the credit improvement strategy session intensive that will take place, what did we say, guys? Next Thursday? Next Thursday at 8 o'clock. Okay, so you can sign up. Like I said, it is $100 off right now. It's $100 off until tomorrow night at midnight. Okay, so if you want to take part in the intensive and get my help, we work together for an hour. We're going to fully go over your 3 credit reports, give you a complete credit improvement strategy. Now remember, there are steps you need to take before you even start this process, right? There's not everything I can teach you in these 5 days, right? But I want you to be successful. So that's why I'm set aside this time to, you know, build this plan for you guys so that you have all of the strategies. There are things you need to do before, there are things you need to do in the middle, there are things you need to do at the end, right? As you're going along your credit improvement journey, right? You need a customized plan for your situation. This, what we're going over here, is general, right? It's general. But if you want a customized plan for your personal credit situation so that you're taking the right steps, right? You want to be able to make sure that before you even send off your letters, you've got your situation set up correctly. That's what we're going over. You get a full, complete credit audit, all right? You get 2 reports, right? Detailing all the errors on your credit report, detailing the most damaging errors on your credit report, and detailing the accounts you should dispute and not dispute. That is very vital to your credit report improvement, credit score improvement. If you dispute the wrong thing, you can risk getting sued and getting a judgment filed against you, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, so we will be meeting next Thursday at 8 for the intensive and making sure that you have a complete credit improvement plan. All right, so it's $100 off. Typically, it's $197. It's $97 until Thursday at midnight. And once midnight hits, it will go up to the regular price of $197. Okay, so you definitely want to take advantage of that so that you get the reduced pricing. Okay, and then we're going to work together next Thursday at 8. I think everyone agreed on 8. All right, so definitely click on that link so that you can get in there, get into the intensive, and get your own personalized, customized credit improvement strategy plan. LaKendra, this isn't on topic, but what should I do if I was using a credit repair company just a month ago, but I canceled the service? When should I start disputing for myself? Did you get results back from the last month? As long as you got results back from the last set of disputes, then you're fine. You can start disputing. Just wait until the results come back. You can't have more than one dispute out there. So just wait until the results come back. If you have a charge off that you're paying on and the information is accurate, how do you dispute? I would have to take a look at your credit report, Sherry. That's not something I can answer without looking at your credit report. The most damaging would be the most current. Yes, the most recent 24 months, Brenda. If you have a charge off, you're paying. Okay, so I answered that question, Sherry. Yeah, I would have to look at your credit reports. So get into the intensive, Sherry, so that we can develop a customized plan for you. LaKendra said, none, and I was with the company since August. Huh? You never saw any updated credit reports or results in the mail? No. August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 7 months? Oh, no. And you were paying them every month? No. No. That's not right. Ooh, you need to get into this intensive, honey, so we can fix that. You need to fix that. Again, it's $100 off, guys. I'm giving you guys a huge discount. This is typically $197 for me to put together a complete credit improvement plan for you guys. All right, and then we work together through your strategy. You know exactly what you need to do before you start your dispute process. Remember, there are very distinct steps you need to take, and these are the steps I take with my VIP clients. So you definitely want to sign up for this intensive so that you have the right steps and a complete plan. Like, this is just a general breakdown, but you want a complete plan for your personal situation, right? Like, you don't want to go and take the wrong step. Okay? Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, cool. Lamar, how much is your done for you credit repair? It is pricey. It's $1,500. Yeah, Lamar, my one-on-one for my done for you is $1,500. So that's why you're getting a huge deal by joining the intensive, by me creating the credit improvement plan and strategy for you for only $97. So do you want to work with me for $97 or do you want to work with me for $1,500? So you're getting a deal, getting a steal actually. So whatever you got to do, get that money together and get into the intensive before Thursday night. So you're still getting that one-on-one experience with me. We're walking through your strategy. We're creating your strategy, and it's going to be personal and customized to your personal situation. You want to know what accounts not to touch. You want to know what steps you need to take before you even send out your dispute letters. You need to know what positive accounts you need to be adding to your portfolio, right? What times to send out your letters, right? You're not just sending out all 3 letters, right? So you need to know all of this stuff, and that's what we go over in the intensive. So be sure to sign up for the intensive before Thursday night. It will go to regular price, and I don't want you to say, oh, well, Stephanie, you know, I really want to do it, but, you know, can we still do the $97 price? No, it will go to $197 to the regular price, right? Success and money only attracts the people who take fast action, right? So if you know you want to better your credit, you know you want to better your situation, you have to You have to take fast action and implement and invest in yourself, right? So money attracts to fast, right? Okay, so same thing with success. Any type of success is attracts to fast action. All right, so don't get caught up when that timer expires and then you're wanting to get in and then it's 197. Okay. You get my one-on-one service. Like, I mean, I do everything for you. Everything is done. All of the disputing, let you know exactly what positive you get walked by the hand, basically. So you wouldn't have to worry about if you're doing it correctly. You wouldn't have to worry about getting the letters mailed out. All of that is done for you. So a lot of people get a little caught up in continuing the process and things like that, and you don't have to worry about that. That's all done for you. So a lot of you mentioned that you guys were interested in the intensive. A lot of you mentioned that next Thursday at 8 works for you. So let's get it on, right? Let's get the work popping, okay? So right now it's $97. And don't send me an email, don't call me and tell me, oh, it's $197 now, you missed the $97 price. Okay? So Thursday at midnight is the deadline. Any other questions? Any questions about the intensive? Any questions about what we went over today? Any questions about filling out the worksheet for your homework assignment? Anything. Because we're going to go ahead and wrap up. It's about, been here about an hour. Yeah, so we're good on time. Any other questions? No questions? Okay, I'm going to wait about 2 more minutes, see if any other questions come in. But how was today? I hope it wasn't too much information overload. How was today? Was everything okay? Did you understand everything? Is there anything that you need further clarification on? But did you enjoy today so that you know exactly how to locate those errors, guys? How was today's session? All right, I don't see any more questions. Are you guys good for tonight? So you got your homework assignment. Again, fill out the identifying errors worksheet. Okay. And then post it in the group. Let me know you are, you've completed it and that you're good to go. So okay, good. Okay, there go the comments. All right, great. All right, great. Today was great. I'm gonna listen to the replay. This was awesome. Okay, great. So you guys got the tools. You guys got what you need. Fill out that worksheet tonight or tomorrow, just before we meet tomorrow. Get it done. And again, remember the timer will expire tomorrow at midnight. So you want to get into the intensive. You guys chose next Thursday at 8. So that is on the calendar for you guys. So I will send out the details and the meeting room link for those who sign up on Wednesday. And then you'll have access and we meet in the meeting room. All right. So that will not be on Facebook. Okay. A lot of great information. Great. Okay. So I hope it wasn't overwhelming because I know we went over a lot. But I want you to have the information and know what you're looking for. So again, if you need to take a look at the replay, it will be in the group until tomorrow. So again, definitely go over it, take notes. I hope you took notes today, actually, instead of waiting to take notes. But yeah, hopefully it was beneficial. Hope that it helps you. And fill out that worksheet. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Again, I apologize for being a little late today. I was, finishing up an assignment with my daughter. So, I had to get that done. But I'm glad you guys held on and you stuck with me and you're still here. Thank you for spending your Wednesday night with me. Okay, thank you for even being a part of this challenge and dedicating your time to improving your credit score, and that you're trusting me to help you along your journey. All right, so thank you guys so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful night and lots of love. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, and tomorrow's going to be even better. Okay, we are going over some techniques to write those banging, perfect dispute letters, all right? We don't want any problems with those dispute letters, all right? So that's what we're going over tomorrow. So get ready, see you tomorrow, and have a good night. Bye.